Rudolph says that he had the problem with his nose when he was younger, so it works out. And that's the one with the heat miser and the no,
that's not the Mr. That's the other one with the cold miser.
That's the year that the Christmas that almost wasn't, or something like that. With heat miser and snow miser and all those, and Mother Nature, who was their mother, and made them stop all that mess. Now that happens before Rudolph. You realize that? That's pre-Rudolph.
Pre-Rudolph. The one that I don't know how new it is, but I really like in the Puppetron are the ones that the Legends of Santa Claus.
Okay.
The Frank Baum.
Yeah.
The Frank Baum, where they bring in, and if anyone's ever bothered to read the book, they follow it pretty closely, where they tell you the life story of Claus and how he went from a man to an immortal. And I thought that one, but I don't really know how new that one is, considering I've just seen it in the past few years. One that I know I saw in the 70s that I have not seen again, and I saw it on a syndicated, a UHF, whatever, was one called Cosmic Christmas.
Okay.
It's cartoon where the wise men are aliens.
Ooh.
And it was beautifully drawn. The artwork in it, at a time when the artwork in cartoons was going right to the toilet, this came out, and this was in the 70s. I know I was a teenager when I saw it, and I just thought, wow, it was pretty. Now, I think you do have it on film somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, we have seen that one quite a few times. We'll probably see it again this year. That one, I cannot remember exactly who did it, although I want to say that's a Rankin Bass kind of thing also. It might not be. I could be real wrong in that, but I know that there were a couple of them that came out about that same year, because there was one that was a story of Romeo and Juliet, who were two robots, but it was done by the same people as this Cosmic Christmas. And that one is quite a lovely little story. If it does come up this year, I would say for people to watch it. It is a nice little, it's a little half-hour story, but they say a lot in that half hour. It teaches a good lesson. It really does.
Well, that, and it's just so pretty.
Yes, it is. It's very pretty.
It almost reminds me of the British cartoon Dr. Snuggles in its style.
Okay,
it's sort of along that style.
I can see that.
It's real neat. Now, something we don't really have, we do have, but we don't have anymore, are the Christmas extravaganza specials.
The variety specials.
Variety specials.
Yeah.
Well, we have them now, but
they just, it's like, what was it? Somebody in the Cosby Kids Search for Santa, or
in somebody's country Christmas.
All it is just a big ad for an NBC shows or something,
Where in it, Andy Williams did those specials with the Osmond brothers. We have to bring the Osmond brothers out. And they were glitzy, and the silver Christmas trees and the fake snow, and definitely done in a studio, no location, no.
Merry little. What we don't have anymore, though, are we don't have any weekly variety shows that you can do those off of, because those always had weekly variety shows that they could do them off. Or, well, then there's Mr. Variety Show himself, Bob Hope, who has one every single month of the year, regardless of what it is.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't even have to be a special thing. He'll just
Bob
make
Hope's
something up.
Wacky Arbor Day.
Right. Bob Hope says hello to Mike Tyson and the Olympic.
Anybody.
Hopefuls.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson says hello to this year's NFL picks.
Yeah.
Well, the Andy Williams ones really stick in my mind, because I remember they were so pretty and phony.
Well, they were pretty, they were phony, they were pretty phony.
The ultimate phoniness, though, was the year when all the trouble was going on about Claudine Longet and all that, and so he had a family Christmas special with a fake family. He actually was like somewhere in the.
I remember that one.
It wasn't his family.
Yeah. It's like, hey, can I rent some kids and a wife today?
Went to rent a family and said, we need one for this Christmas special. And it's like,
okay,
missing the point here.
3.2 kids, and we've got it.
Weren't the Osmonds in that one, though?
Well,
the Osmonds his
they had to
family?
squeeze them in there somehow.
Well,
It's
the
just-
Osmonds were always on his show. It was like his adopted family.
Right.
Well,
So they-
I remember his. It's just they were glitzy. They were, you know, you looked forward to them. You got to step late and watch them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they.
The one
always seemed
terrible
like they were on a
thing.
weekend.
Yeah.
The one terrible thing about some of the Christmas specials, when they used to show them a week before Christmas or a day before,
Right.
was, I can remember, this is for you really young people, this is pre-VCR. My mother drug me off to church. I had to miss Rudolph one year, and this meant you didn't see it again until the next year.
Right.
Not when you had it, no, we could tape it and watch it
Tape
later.
and watch it later.
Like, I have it on tape, and I have to yell at my kids in the summertime, get that out of there, that's the no-no,
Yeah.
that's the sacred December tape.
Yeah.
You know, I remember missing Charlie Brown one year because I had to go be the Virgin Mary.
I
You know-
remember one year in college, I was doing some show, and everybody, you know, it's like everybody's on the same age group and all this, and we're all crowded in the costume room during a rehearsal, and the director's like, "Where is everybody?" We're all in there watching a tiny TV set, watching a Charlie Brown Christmas. Like, we have to see this. I'm sorry, you can do the show whenever you want, but we have to see this.
This is a tradition.
That's right.
I know some of the funny variety shows was, I'm from the Cincinnati area, I think it was every Saturday evening, Midwestern Hayride was on. That's with Porter and Dolly.
Ah,
When Dolly was still selling the boxes of Breeze with the
Yeah.
towels and everything. Okay, and they had some funny entertainment. I mean, I didn't like country, but these folks, anybody who could sing a Christmas carol was on it.
Well, Midwestern Hayride was on around here, but it was like something that you saw it was on and you just kept flipping. Kept flipping that channel.
just zip right past that.
We'd probably end up on Jackie Gleason or something about the time that Midwestern Hayride was on. Yeah.
Oh,
What I thought one of the most unique moments of all the variety Christmas shows was a show. Of course, Bing Crosby did shows every year.
Yes, he did.
Was the thing when it was a duet of Bing Crosby and David Bowie.
which is run on MTV now,
Yeah, it's just like,
doing the Drummer Boy.
yeah, it's like what is David Bowie singing with Bing Crosby for? It's
And I
like-
think that's one of the years that David Bowie doesn't remember.
yeah.
I read an
What was I
interview with
doing
him
that
once,
year?
and he said there were certain years that he just he didn't
doesn't
remember.
seem
I
to
said,
click.
this must have been one of them. Because they probably woke him up. Yeah, you were singing with Bing Crosby. What?
What? I was singing with Bing Crosby. Ooh. Well, everybody, every entertainer that had a family was doing one. John Davidson was doing his.
Oh, he did one. Well,
The Muppets.
well, that
Yep.
was John.
That one
was
was-
John Denver.
That was John
Oh, yeah,
Denver.
John
John
Denver
Denver
and
did
the
the Muppet Christmas, which it was very pretty.
Yeah, that was an
it was
interesting
neat.
one.
It was in the late 70s. Yeah, it was in the late 70s. I
Yeah.
just had my wisdom tooth out when I watched it. Maybe that's why it was so very pretty. But and they've since done another one, I think.
Well, the Muppets have.
Emmett Otter. Is that
Yeah,
a late?
okay,
That's a late 70s
That
Yeah.
is a Muppet thing.
Muppet thing. When the Muppets really, we finally turned them on, and they
And-
didn't have to run to Britain to do their show.
Right.
There's one that was out some years earlier. That was a Muppet one. It was back when Muppets were.
Those funny things on Ed Sullivan's
It
show.
was just past Ed Sullivan. But it was before there was actually a Muppet show or anything. There was the Great Santa Claus Switch that had Art Carney in it, and let me see. There were all
yeah.
these. There were let me see. Who were the elves? Hippity, Bippity, Boppity, Bing Bong, and Fred, something like that. But anyway, he came in. Art Carney played this evil wizard named Cosmo. Also, he was playing Santa Claus, and he played this evil wizard named Cosmo. Cosmo took on a Santa kind of thing and went in and switched places with Santa. He held Santa captive. He switched places with him. Then he started bringing in his. He had Frackles and Snarves. Those were his. Frackles and Snarfs were his helpers, and so he started bringing those in to replace all the elves. And so it got down to the point where Fred was the last elf left, and they brought in all these other Frackles and Snarfs, and all the. Fred ended up saving the whole thing and helping the.
That's one of the
rescue
lost.
elves.
That's kind of the
That
lost
is-
lost holiday
Yeah,
show.
That is a lost one because Art Carney has played actually Santa Claus several times, starting
Yeah.
with the time when he played him on Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Twilight Zone episode where he was a store Santa Claus, and he got drunk a lot, and
Yeah.
they ended up